Mission completed. Good luck. And farewell.
Hi, my name is Technigénmachina, and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, episode 7. Today's will be actually pretty short episode, because today I'm doing a science grind. Because I believe that my starting was 200 before I started, but I need to go up to 900 to unlock all the steps of the next tier. It's not necessary, but I like to handle it that way, because then every step you can do, like you use your crafts to the ultimate, and juice all the stuff that you can do with these old parts. Because the higher you get, the more parts you get. If you're constantly gonna get blind on all the new parts and try to do all the stuff with those, you actually forget your old stuff. So, actually, now you can see the first prototype. At the moment, I called it the Scout Buggy, because I didn't really have a name. But later I actually reminded myself that I had a list of names of all the kinds of craft, and this could be classified as a chimera. I have a reason. I will explain it in a later episode, maybe, why I picked those names. But I'm actually just driving around, collecting all the signs of of all new buildings, because you can do that now in the newer version. So at first I did it with the Hermes 1, but eventually those guys, that plane is slow as shit, and it is not built to time warp with it while it's driving on the ground, because the back will hit the ground, and that way I actually accidentally killed Nerdfield with it. So, but he's not dead. I could reload again, and eventually you can see that now Nerdfield is driving the prototype of the Chimera one. Even after this, like one bad thing I had with these, it was constant the jet engines, because the wheels are not powered. So I had to propel it with the tiny jumbo jet engines. But it constantly ran out of intake air, so I had to redesign it, and I come up with this. So this is the official Chimera one, and it's a manned rover, but it can slightly be classified as a gliding car / plane. Because those wings, at first I placed them so the Kerbal can stand on it, but it actually can glide / fly. Because I've tested this guy. I have flown this guy all the way from the KSP to the old air base, all across that ocean / canal / well, yeah. Oh, that was pretty amazing. However, there are some quirks, and I have no idea what it is, but girl scientists are cursed with me, cause they constantly keep dying on me. So I lost Hiwia. I forgot her name. I'm so sorry, but rest in peace, Hiwia. I'm so sorry, but I hope I can do the rest of the stuff all the way with Nordfield. And the reason why I couldn't get Hiwia back was because I did a quick save while I was shortly jumping in the air, but for some reason, for a small part, if your craft is not standing on the ground, he will just go face through the ground and then explode. All the parts that are facing on the ground. So in that and by that I accidentally killed Hawea and I couldn't turn it back, so I had to do it with Northfield. So I drove all the way to the mountains to get all the science, and then just drove through what kind of looks like a slope and just glided all the way back. And I have to say, to drive the Chimera one is fun. I actually had a little bit of decent amount of science from it. Like the most amount of science I got from driving around the Kerbal Space Center. Let me see, what is this? Ooh. I'm actually now looking at my editing screen to see it. I'm actually don't remember anymore what this mission was about. Was it the bad? No. The Badlands was on that of the episode. Oh, I know. There was to kind of finish the work that the Shade 1 has done. I still have the map. Excuse me. I still haven't the map all the way up. How do you say that? Scanned. But I did a large amount of portion. I got like 25 signs from it. So that was a very nice idea. What? Very nice It's not much. It's not much, I can say that, but all the little bits help, especially when you saw like all over the Kerbal Space program. It was like 10, 18, 15, 5, 8, but that all counted up make like 300 science in one go. That boosted my thing from 200 to 500. So I only now need 400 more. So I believe this one also gave me like oh no, I think I only did the map and no, I did the map and I landed this thing. And I will not spoil it yet. I will talk about it in very short. Oh, never mind. You can already see it. So the thing was that I landed this thing also on the North Pole that I accidentally missed on the 4th episode. But now especially with the Atlas 3, pretty much I can land everywhere on Kerbal now. Because I have the ridiculous amount of fuel that was needed to pump up to the moon, but you can just use it like this too. Especially landing on the poles of Kerbin is very beautiful because the lighting is always kind of in a distant angle because the poles are facing pretty much the farthest away from us the planet can from the sun. So you really have a very beautiful and very like here, just the sun that is pretty much always on the horizon. So typed out something, I can't read what it is because my screen is a little bit tiny. Maybe I should enhance my screen so. Well, I'm sorry that I couldn't read that flag, but I had to oh shit, I also missed the science. I miss so many shit while I'm watching this because it's pretty much in high speed, like 4 times 8 accelerated. And this was a special thing that I thought of between actually while shooting episode 6, and eventually after episode 6 I decided to actually on school, because I was on school, to design an impactor probe, because I wanted to score that science that you can get from height, from just above space, just above, just above a biome. But apparently the instruments I had on board weren't designed for that. What's actually a shame, because I thought that the thermometer could do that. So when in my test flight, I was constantly spamming my thermometer because I was flying. Because also the reason why I'm adjusting the orbit so much was because I wanted to be like not directly like negative 100 in the ground, but like just in the ground, so you can fly over as many biomes as possible. And eventually I collected all, I sent it all back home, and I got like like another 80.
Good luck and farewell.
Indeed, Shade 1. Indeed, we will remember you. Let me see. Oh yeah, there was a very small attempt to get some more mapped out on across the horizon. The equator. Sorry, across the equator. It's if you want to scan a planet, it's best to move it into an orbit, polar orbit, because then you can Then you can scan the entirety of the planet in one go. You just have to, like what I used to when I at first got scan set. I would just make the carrier probes, deploy all the 3 satellites on their target height, and then let them run while I was doing something else. And when I came back, I had like detailed maps of everything. Plus, after I was done with this, I actually wanted to give a shot in landing on the Badlands, and it wasn't easy really, because I had to make like 2 or 3 adjustments while I was landing, just to make sure that I got on the Badlands. Because I eventually, last moment, I thought, oh, I fucked up. I will land in the highlands, like you can see on the map jab. But I don't know how I did it. I did it some way. Also, apparently you can land without a heat shield. I have no idea where my heat shield went. I just what? But last second it switched back to Badlands. So like I was like, wait, what? Yes! And so I landed on the Badlands and did my science, did my experiments, and I actually took a lot of time to read. Let me see. At last, you dirty devil. I stepped foot on thy I can't read that. As thy quiver in fear, is of my gust and skill to step on thy's home. Written by a very written by a very drunk Shakespeare Kerman. Well, I thought what's fitted with that. It's probably very not important message, but oh well. I had my funs. I step in, do my last science, and then pick myself up. Actually, while I'm waiting for it, there we go. Wait, I'm actually listening to the same music that you guys listen now to. So I have now 699.7. I think that was my last mission yes, that's my last mission for the day. So, I hope you liked the science guide. I've seriously been talking for like a quarter hour straight. I didn't think of myself that I could do that. So I hope you liked the video. If you have any suggestions of stuff you like of things, just please leave a comment. Dit was Technigénmachina, logging out.